Welcome to the show.
Avocado, right?
Avo.
Let's talk about avocados, specifically smashed avocados
Right.
on
Right. I
toast.
keep hearing about this.
Who loves avocado? I do.
I love avocado.
I don't really like it.
I don't like it either.
Oh my.
Avocado
Guac's
is
pretty
so good.
Guac is avocado.
It's not.
I know, but what?
Yes, it is.
It has,
saying
it
it's not
has
good or it's not
avocados
avocado?
in it,
Avocado.
but it also has like lemon and salt.
Come
and
on,
other things that make
avocado
things taste
with
awesome.
some stuff in it.
I don't like avocado, but I like guac. So there you go. They're not
That
the same.
means you would like avocado. You just have to give it a go.
That's what they say about
No.
tomato sauce and tomatoes, but that just
No.
ain't true, is
it's
it?
No
because
one
we're
says
texture
that.
people.
Oh, okay, jeez.
Yeah, get some texture.
Way to get all racial. Texture people over there.
Don't love me over with you.
You know
Put
what's
me in
not so
this.
great? How expensive these damn houses are getting in Sydney.
Tell me about
Good
it.
segue.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just trying to buy a house.
What's the average price now?
Millions of dollars.
Wow. That sounds like a lie.
Everything is so expensive.
Right.
I can't buy a house, says every 20-year-old,
Yeah.
because it's too expensive.
Yeah, I don't have any money.
And I can't save up for a house deposit.
Because I'm coffee.
Let's go get a smashed avocado
I'm coffee.
instead.
Yeah.
So this is the story, okay? There's a TV show in Australia called 60 Minutes.
How long does it go for?
60 minutes. It's actually global. But the Aussie version of 60
Yeah, I
Minutes.
think every country has a version.
Yeah. So there was a guy on the show. His name is Tim Gurner.
Sounds like a great guy.
Sounds like a douche.
Does he?
So Tim is
Gurney?
a multi-millionaire investment guru.
So a
$500
real
million apparently.
relatable guy.
Claimed.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he has $500 million in equity,
Classic.
but sorry, not equity, in money.
Hmm.
But he says that the projects that he's got on the go amount to over $1 billion.
Which every property person says that, right?
Who knows, really? But he's rich. Believe me when I say he's got the dosh.
Mm.
He's very, very.
I find it very hard to believe you about anything.
Believe me,
He's a tycoon.
he's rich. He's a tycoon.
Okay.
So, Tim made his money by investing in real estate, mainly in Melbourne,
Mm-hmm.
but also across Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, in the early 2000s, he made an investment
Mm-hmm.
and then sold it,
Mm-hmm.
and then did it over and over again until he was very rich.
Good for him.
So he came on the show, and basically this is what he said. Let me read the quote to you.
Quote me.
Quote me.
So Tim Gurner said, quote, "When I was buying my first home, I wasn't buying smashed avocados for $19 and 4 coffees at $4 each." He said, "There is no question we are at a point now where the expectations of younger people are very, very high. They want to eat out every day. They want to travel to Europe every year. This generation is watching the Kardashians and thinking that's normal. Thinking that owning a Bentley is normal, that owning a BMW is normal."
This guy sounds really in touch with the generation.
So this is what he said. And everybody's angry. Everybody's like, how can you say that when you've got so much money?
I'm angry.
Well, this was actually ages ago as well, right?
No.
The 60 Minutes one was quite a while ago, wasn't it?
No, it was
But the proof just came out of other things, right?
Well, it was a few weeks ago. But basically what's come out now is that it turns out that his first investment property was given to him.
Ooh.
First, the story was everybody thought that his grandfather gave him $34,000 to buy his first property.
Which 15 years ago,
It was a lot of money.
like, that was your deposit.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what everyone's saving up for.
That's right. So he basically didn't have to save up for the deposit. But now it also turns out that his boss at the time actually paid for the entire property.
190,000, I think it was.
So he didn't actually pay anything. What he did was went into that property, renovated it, sold it, gave the money back to the boss, and kept the profit.
12 grand.
12 grand, yes.
Yeah.
And that,
Which is still pretty good. I don't
Which
know
is
how
not
long
bad.
it took him to renovate, but he was
Yeah.
what, like 20 years old when he did
that's
it?
right,
It's
yeah. So
pretty
he was a young
impressive.
guy, and he went in there, he renovated it, made 12 grand, and then using that 12 grand, bought himself a gym, which he also
gym.
renovated.
Mm-hmm. And
So-
he turned it into a good business, and then he sold the business.
Yep, that's right. And then basically kept going on from there, and that's where he built up his millions.
Is that where F45 came from?
No.
Okay. Just checking.
So-
FF45.
Millennials, right? People are
I just
angry
wanna-
because
Sorry.
people are angry because they don't think it's okay for him to say these things about millennials when he had such an easy start, as they say.
Ooh, yeah.
Tell me what you think.
It's funny that he thinks that everyone watches the Kardashians for one,
Mm.
and then assumes that everyone thinks that the Kardashians are normal.
Is smashed ever on toast actually $19?
Sometimes
If you go to Alexandria, probably.
expensive
No.
places it is. Yeah, fancy places it is.
That'd be really. That'd be really.
I mean,
fancy.
it's very expensive. Smashed Avon toast is probably like $10.
Yeah, so that kind of tells you about the kind of places he goes to.
Well, yeah,
Right.
he's a multimillionaire. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, but the fact that he assumes that's how everyone lives is
Yeah,
pretty
true.
funny.
But coffee is $4. That's true.
This is a guy who lives in a world where he's really wealthy and goes to really expensive places, sees young people at those really expensive places, and assumes that every young person is like that. There's a
And-
word for people like that.
What's that?
Old.
Morons.
Ooh,
Out of touch?
Because you can't just assume that everyone... Like, if those young people are probably rich. There are rich young people. And just because you see a rich young person in an expensive place doesn't mean that everyone is buying that stuff.
But is it true that millennials in Sydney and around Australia are complaining about how expensive houses are?
Yes.
that is
because they
truth.
are expensive.
That's a valid complaint.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't think it is.
The rental market just came out that it's the highest percentage of your income, like average, than like any country, which is 30%.
Yeah, and that's a fair point. But you know what? Like, when I read this story and heard what he said, okay, it's true that he's out of touch. We can all agree on that, yeah? Because ain't none of us buying $19 avocado toasts. $9 max.
I might.
I don't like avocado.
You can
so-
love avocado.
I'm a bacon and egg roll guy.
Has it got some feta on it?
I wouldn't spend $19 for a bacon and egg roll.
But
She's like $6.
But-
Yeah, it's
he
like-
is out of touch. And yes, he is very, very rich. But take what he said and apply it to your life. It's true. There are a lot of young people who are saying it's too hard to save up for a deposit to buy a house. And they go out to cafes and such and buy $4 coffees and pay $10 for the bacon and egg rolls.
But yay, Chan. We've already solved this problem because everyone on Twitter, this kind of took off internationally as well, and everyone has been doing the math. And it's like, you have to do not smashed avocados and coffees for, I think it was like 100 years before you could afford a house.
Yes, but I don't think what he's saying is if you just stopped having avocados and coffee, you'd be able to buy a house. I think what he's saying is young people don't want to put in the hard work and the sacrifice of not buying things that they want to, not buying clothes on Iconic every day, and not spending money going out to cafes and eating out. And all they want to do is complain that the housing market is too expensive. When realistically, if they're looking at areas that aren't maybe desirable to them, housing is actually not that unaffordable. And it is possible to save up for a deposit if you stop spending your money.
So there's a few things. One, you're making the assumption that everyone should be not spending any money in order to save up a deposit, right? One, it's questionable whether that's actually possible for most people on an average income, which was $60,000. Two, it's really bad for the economy that people don't spend money. So we've had like 97 companies, retail companies, come out, downgrade their profit forecasts because no one's spending money. So what happens is the entire economy gets focused on one thing, which is housing and banks, which is really bad because they don't generate jobs for everyone. So what you're postulating is the worst possible scenario, is where everyone saves. That's what the Reserve Bank is currently trying to stop people from doing by offering really low interest rates.
We
Two.
know how you feel about interest rates.
Two, if we do a little bit of maths and we'll take some like really liberties with the numbers, right? Let's say you want a $500,000 house. That's a cheap house in the Sydney, right? $500,000 house, you want to have a 20% deposit, so you need $100,000. $100,000, how, and people make average $60,000, so you're renting as well, because you don't have a house. How much money do you reckon you'll be able to save in a year?
Well, to start off with, you don't rent if you don't have to.
Okay, but ideally that's not the scenario. Ideally you don't need people to have to live near their parents in order to be able to afford to save up for a house.
I don't think that's true. Like, we can't say
That
people
limits-
should be able to not.
That limits the jobs people can take. That limits where they can live. That
Yeah,
actually
it
limits
does.
the economy as well.
But you can't live wherever you want and complain about the prices being expensive, because the reason those prices are so high is because everybody wants to live there.
No, the reason they're so high is because 50% of them go to investors who are getting subsidized by negative gearing, which rewards people for making bad investments and artificially inflates prices. But anyway, keeping on going with the math. Say you can save $20,000 a year, which is pretty good, right? Take you 5 years to get there. The house price in Sydney went up by 17% last year. 17% on that 100,000 is 17 grand, right? So in that 5 years that you took to save up $100,000, you probably need to be saving $200,000 to get the same house, which means you can never catch up, which is the problem at the moment.
But are people wanting to buy houses that are out of their budget?
$500,000 is very,
About as low as you get, right?
yeah, it's very far.
But those houses were cheaper 5 years ago.
Yeah.
They were, but the main problem is that people's wages haven't increased commensurate to the increase in the property,
Compared to,
which is
how
because
expensive
of the
housing is.
upward pressure that they're competing with people who have houses already, have massive amounts of collateral. They have way more borrowing power and therefore they can pay more for a house. So more than 50% of loans last year were given to investors, not to people who wanted to live in the house, which means that you have really high demand, but it's not people who are moving into those houses and therefore reducing the demand in the next time
They're
that
renting,
house goes
yeah,
up. They're renting.
Yeah.
I understand your point, Yetchen. You're saying stop complaining. If you want to buy a house, save and buy a house, it's just fine. Like, if you want to save a house, make the sacrifices, put the money aside, and buy a house. But you can't deny that it's an unhelpful and unhealthy climate to be.
The current situation
you
is
can't
bad
say
for everyone.
you can't say it's easy, because it's not.
No.
It would be way easier to make money in an economy where people can spend their money on stuff, because that's what makes an economy grow.